Who you are today is not a life sentence.
When I heard that, I was just like, damn, that's extremely freaking powerful.
Well, bam.
Yeah.
I think, I guess like because of the way that my career has gone, it has afforded me to like, I guess, just learn a lot more about myself. And I wish I knew this years ago. People are always like, what would you say to your former self or something like, and I wouldn't really say anything. I wouldn't want anything to change. I love the way that everything went. However, I do wish at a younger age I understood that the most important knowledge to obtain is knowledge that will lead to being able to change your behavior. Knowledge that will be able, not like you have bad behavior, not like you're acting up in school or not like you're getting in trouble with the law or anything like that, but just we all have habits that aren't great. We all have habits that aren't going to propel us forward. And as we talked about yesterday in yesterday's podcast, a lot of it was about and it's not like having like a tough mindset. It's not about being like strong-willed and those things. Those things are important. But in my opinion, it has a lot to do more with the reinterpretation of everything. Like everything is an interpretation, just about everything. I mean, if we had a physicist on here, he would say that mathematics aren't up for interpretation or something like that. But even then, those are just theories, and what we know about those theories can change in a second. They can change in a heartbeat. So let me give you like an analogy, right? So, when I went to school, you guys all know the story. I had a bunch of different special classes, and let me explain a little bit about like a learning disability. So no one ever really told me what I had, or like they never categorized it as a certain thing. I just was struggling in school, and then they gave me a bunch of tests, and based off of those tests, they were like, oh, you have a learning disability. Now you're going to be in these classes. And so just to show you how quickly things could change. So they tell me I have a learning disability. Now I'm in these classes. I'm not in classes with a lot of my friends anymore. I'm in these like special classes. And the kids that are in class with me have like physical and mental they have very obvious physical and mental I guess disabilities, you would say. I don't even know what the right word would be to describe it. But anyway, like I appear to be a lot different than them. And anyway, so I'm in this class with these kinds of kids that are really having trouble learning. I mean, they like they don't even know which way to face in the classroom and stuff like that. Like I'm not by no means am I making fun of any of these people. These are people that all became my friends and stuff like that. And these are people that I got in like fights for because they got picked on and things like that. But like they just, they're in wheelchairs and things of that nature. And so I kind of placed myself to that level of what was going on in that classroom. And I kind of started to think that of myself. I was like, oh, I can't learn. I can't progress in some of these other things, even though when it came to like football or when it came to certain things, like I knew the stats of every player and I knew all these other things, but only like by my parents would it be pointed out like, hey, no, you're actually smart. Like you shouldn't think of yourself that way. But like no kid really listens to their parents, I mean, I'm lucky that I had supportive parents.
Yeah, Mark, how much steak do you eat a week, man?
I don't know, man. I think I eat like 2 or 3 pounds every single day. So let's see, carry the one. I would think that's probably about 50 pounds of steak a week.
My God. Do you like going to the grocery store?
No, I hate it because there's peanut butter cups there, and I'm going to be enticed to buy other crap that I don't need.
Dude, like you go to Costco, right? You walk in, you have to show them your card, then you're walking through, you have to go find the meat, you have to go pick through everything. Some of it's not that great, some of it's good. Then you have all of the samples, okay? All the samples, those damn Costco samples. Then you have
for that.
Yeah, then you have the pizza, the Polish dogs, all that crap. It just gets, it's difficult. It takes
time. I
time.
love not having to deal with that. I just come home from a hard day of training.
Yeah.
And a tomahawk ribeye is sitting at my doorstep, or a fillet, something like that, just sitting there right at my doorstep. I didn't have to even think about it. I didn't have to waste my time going to the grocery store.
Perfect.
And that's how simple it is. Our friends at Piedmontese.com, you don't have to deal with any of the grocery issues, waiting in line all day long. They deliver it right to your doorstep, and they deliver steaks that are from those jacked cows, like the ones that are like in Bigger, Stronger, Faster. Just like Nsima, they claim natty, believe it or not. I know, it's crazy.
Those cows are.
Yeah. You guys got to get in on this. Head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your order. And if your order is $99 or more, you get free 2-day shipping.
But just to, give you guys an example. Now imagine that same scenario, right? I get labeled as learning disabled, right? I get put in these special classes. I go home to my parents and I say, hey, they put me in these special classes. I don't think it's a great idea. I disagree with them. And I think that maybe I should get a second opinion. We should look into this further. Or perhaps maybe we should try a different school, because maybe just regular public school, maybe it's not great for me. Maybe I should look into something that maybe will allow you to be more creative, because I was the kind of kid that they said, what color is the sky? And I was like, sometimes it's white, sometimes it's gray. They wanted me to say blue. What color is the grass? It's like, well, it depends. Sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's green. It depends on how much nourishment it gets, So I was never giving them the answers that they were looking for. But just imagine if somebody else would have told me at 11, 12, you actually don't have a learning disability. They actually, the diagnosis that they had was wrong. And imagine if they could show a scan of my brain and show me, right? So everything that I ever knew about myself would have all disappeared. And that's just based off an interpretation of a doctor or somebody giving you a diagnosis of what you may or may not have.
Yeah.
Another example could be somebody works out for a few months and they don't know anything about working out, and their arms get real big and swollen. And someone says, "Oh my God, your your arms, you have cancer in there. Both your arms, you have cancer in both your arms." And you're like, "No, I don't think so, man. I feel good." No, you have lumps, and lumps mean cancer. That's what lumps are. You have cancerous tumors in your arms. And you look it up or you get a diagnosis and it's like, no, man, you grew some biceps. So everything is open to interpretation, and it really messes with your mind when you start to consider all the things that you can interpret in whatever which way you want. You can interpret something somebody says to you as being offensive. You can say, "Oh, I can't believe they just fucking said that to me. That's unbelievable. Why would they say that? Oh my God." Or you see a post from somebody and you can have it trigger you. You can have it, quote unquote, make you mad. But something that's important to know is that no one can make you do anything. No one can make you feel any sort of way. I mean, it's an interpretation. You can head it off at the pass. I'm not talking about stuffing down your feelings, because that's not a great solution to anything either. Although sometimes it's good just to ignore certain things. But what I'm talking about is identifying what happened, identifying what someone said, identifying what you saw. Why does that make me feel that way is the next question. And then you can start to maybe you can start to put some facts around what was said. Well, I kind of always get upset when someone says that to me. And so it makes sense. I don't know why they said it, but if it's someone that they're saying it intentionally to hurt you, or they're saying it to get your attention about something. If it's somebody that you don't know, they don't know you. They're not able to really give you a true assessment of what's going on in the first place. So, but it's hard. It's very difficult. I'm not saying any of this is easy. It's very difficult to not react to some of the things that you hear or some of the things that you're told about yourself.